Hi, I'm Doug.
And I'm Cathy.
This is Maggie Mae. Join us as we follow the moon. Today we are at another Thousand Trails Park in Texas. We're actually up just off of Interstate 10 at Colorado River Thousand Trails. And this park, like I said, is about 4 miles off of I-10 between Houston and San Antonio. It's our first time in here, and I think you're going to love it as much as we do.
I think so.
Now here we're traveling north on 71 West, just off of Interstate 10. This is a map of the park, and you'll see the three little circles. That's the A section. Furthest to the right is the C section, and at the top is the newest section, the E section. We're going to show you all three of those as we go. You'll see the sign along the right-hand side of the road that says Thousand Trails, and that's to let you know that you're going to make the very next left. When you do that, you're about a mile away from the park. The whole distance off of Interstate 10, I think, is about 5 miles. So it's real close to the interstate, real easy in, easy out park.
And it's a nice road.
Yeah, all the roads are really nice coming back to it. No branches to worry about anything that way. Now, a couple things to keep in mind. At the time we're doing this video, which is middle of March, this park, as well as two other Thousand Trails, have changed to a new system where they're reserving your sites. So much like the Encore parks and a lot of private parks, your site's already assigned to you when you get there.
Which is kind of nice.
It's very nice,
yeah.
Especially if you've had a long travel day and you don't want to have to drive around at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon and see what sites are left.
Or change the next morning.
And they had a beautiful site reserved for us. You'll see the banners here on the left. That's where you'll turn onto Thousand Trails Road, and you can't miss the big signs there. From here, it's just a couple of tenths of a mile back to the park. And the entry to the park, you'll see a guard station and the gates as you come up here. But when you first come in, you'll want to go over to the main office to check in. Nice office facility. And if it's your first time there and you don't know the situation, they have painted up here on the road after you cross this bridge a big white arrow right there that turns to the right. And you'll want to turn right in here and keep bearing to the right. There's a tree out in the middle, and that's where you'll make a big sweeping U-turn after you've checked in to go to your site. But before you do that, the first one out of the motorhome,
that's right,
has a dog park waiting on them. That is the only dog park currently in the park. They did tell us that they are kind of toying with putting another one on back further. This is the main office complex where you'll check in, and at the end of that you'll see a playground set up, you'll see ice available, and on the end of the building is their laundry. This is the one and only laundry for the park. It's a small setup, but
it was clean.
It was very clean.
Yes.
And I never saw people waiting or anybody complaining about, so they kept it rotating well.
Yeah.
Now we're coming back out to the main road where the arrows were. When you check in, they'll give you your gate code. And this is one of those nice parks where they've got the low keypad and the high keypad, so no matter what you're driving, you can get in. Somebody had just taken their gate down as I was filming this, so that's why we didn't stop there. Now, as you come in, the very first place we're going to go is this first road on the left. This is where the activities and the amenities of the park are. They're all located right up here. And the first thing you'll see is the activity center.
This place was beautiful.
It's a little smaller than a lot of activity centers, but they still have games, they still have pool tables, puzzles. They've got places for cards where you can see there was a card game going on back there at the time. A nice little lounge there with a TV, library. And they also do have a very small fitness room there. Now you also have a bathhouse and shower house there, as well as their pool.
And it was beautiful.
And I was surprised to not see a hot tub with the pool. But over under this cabana, you'll see this little white building attached, and that is their hot tub all indoors.
I love that.
It's really nice. They've got soccer goals in there.
And there were people out playing all the time.
Absolutely. Tennis and pickleball, basketball, cornhole, shuffleboard, and even volleyball. So all kinds of activities set up there for you. Now again, we're going to go right back over to the main road. And we're going to go just a very short way up here. And make a right. And this will take us into the A section. The A section is actually 3 circles connected together.
And this was nice. The trees were beautiful. You'll notice they're not hanging down too far, but it just had a nice little woodsy feel, and there were deer that frequented that area.
Now this loop does have some full hookup 50 amp. It does have some just water and electric sites on one of the loops, and it does have some full hookup 30 amp. This is also where you're going to find their cabins, and the cabins are all Texas named.
Yeah, they were cute.
And I will mention to you while we're driving through the A loop here that this Thousand Trails actually does live up to the name. There are trails throughout this park.
Oh yeah.
They start up at the office, they come off of the A loop, they connect back over to the C loop, and then there's also another one that goes from the activity center completely around the E loop. So there's a lot of great trails through their pecan grove as well as through the forest. We saw deer while we were there. We saw all kinds of wildlife. So definitely worth the time. Now we're coming around the last of the 3 loops here and back out to the main road. And there are trees here, but they're all trimmed up nice. No issue with low limbs, anything that way. They really do work on this park.
And they were always out.
Yeah, they're always out
day.
working. Now this next road you'll see going off to the left is going to go into the east section, and just after that turn is where the dump station is. So I wanted to show you there. It's a nice wide 2-lane dump station. The east section actually is divided by a pond, and we're going to do this section and then we'll come back in a minute and do the other section of the E. These are all new sites. Everything back in this is considered a premium full hookup 50 and 30 amp. So this section, you've got everything.
They were nice.
And they were level. When we pulled our rig in, it basically just, the jacks touched the ground and that was it.
Yep.
They were nice level sites. They are a packed gravel site, but the roads back here are all paved.
And nice and wide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of space between. And again, being new, it's all new electrical panels, all new plumbing, all new sewer fitments. Everything was very nice, very new. They have a couple, I think in the E section alone, there were 3 dumpster sections, one up by the dump station,
Yeah.
and one in each back corner. So you were never far from a dumpster. And you can see how nice and wide the roads are. Very easy to maneuver, and it makes it very easy to get in and out of the places. And I believe every one of those sites in the E section is a pull-through.
I think so, yeah.
Now again, they are assigning sites. We took what they gave us, which was a beautiful site. This is the little pond that separates the 2 parts of the E section.
And they were fished out of it.
They were fishing down
Yeah.
there every morning. But with the assigned sites, we had a beautiful site there. If you know ahead of time that you're coming, you could always try to give the park a call and request either A section, C section, or E if you have a preference. Now in the E section, there's a little road that'll cut off here. This actually goes in front of the last row of pull-throughs. You'll see the pond continuing over there. And we're going to take a left up here rather than going all the way back out to the main road. And this is the bathhouse and shower house coming up here on the right for the E section. Now this is a new section, so it's a new bathhouse, but all the bathhouses look identical to this, so they must have upgraded everything at the same time this was built. The men's room had 2 stalls, 2 showers, never busy, and very, very clean, very, very nice. Now the road you see going to the left here goes back to the other half of the E section. We'll come back there in a minute. That happens to be where we were parked. That is a movie theater.
It was so cool.
You can come up on your golf cart, and then out here in the grass is an 18-hole golf course. So this brings us back out to the main road again. And we're going to turn left, and this will take us back to section C. The paved road stops there, and going back to section C, it's gravel. Everything else that you've seen so far have been paved roads. The C section is a little bit more rustic look, and it is right on the Colorado River. And most of the parks that we've been to, when you start talking about river sites, there's no sewer. And back here, these, other than just a handful, are all full hookup sites. And again, very nice, level, wide sites.
And kept clean.
They're angled, so they're easy in and easy out. There is their bathhouse over there on the left. And this one winds back through quite a ways. It's really one big loop. There is a cutoff road right in the middle of it. They do have some playground equipment, horseshoes, everything out in the middle.
It went back a lot further than I expected it to.
Yeah.
I didn't see them all.
From the road, it looks like it's just going to make a small loop, and this actually does kind of flare out and makes kind of a backwards 6 shape.
And like the A loops, these had more trees in them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like a shady spot.
Especially in the hot Texas summers, I would
Yeah.
imagine that would be important.
Absolutely.
Now we'll come around this last bend, and this is where the road is going to start to curve back towards the main road again. But you'll see there's another little road going off to the right. And this road right here takes you down to the boat ramp, and you can put in right there on the Colorado.
Yeah. Yeah, that was beautiful.
So we were told the Colorado has been up to the top of the banks, but right now it's a good way down there. But yeah, you've got a decent ramp to put a boat in if you want.
Now there was somewhere down here where those trails went across.
Yeah, there's a trail that goes off there to the right, and then just on down the way here as we go back up towards the main road, there's another spot that if you continued straight, that becomes a trail that runs all the way up along the Colorado River.
Yeah. That was the one that we walked. It was handy, and Maggie liked it.
Maggie liked it. And part of that area along the Colorado was also set up for primitive and tent camping.
Yeah.
And was being used.
It was.
And
it was cold.
And it is made so that you can drive back to that part. So if you've got, we heard a generator running back there one night.
Music, it was great.
It was cold one night.
Yeah.
They had the generator going and music and fire, and it was really a nice area back there along the river.
It was a lot of fun.
And as we come out of this sea loop, you'll see some barriers up here on the right-hand side. That's because it gets a little steep there along the riverbank.
Yes.
They don't want you going straight right at that point. They want to make sure that you're making that curve.
I think there were a couple different places that had been washed out a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a beautiful spot back here along the river.
I thought the whole park was just really beautiful.
It was
It's
exceptional.
one of my favorite.
Yeah. I'll go with you on that one. There off to the right is where it starts off on one of the trails. We're curving right now, going back up towards the front of the park, and we're going to curve into the E-loop, and we'll show you the other side of the pond in that and where we were at, so you can see the site up close.
This place was busy.
It was.
I was real surprised. It was just everybody was out.
The movie theater is right there on the right. They said drive up in your golf cart, plus they had all kinds of picnic tables and everything there. So if you just wanted to walk there and sit down on a picnic table, they do movies out there.
And they did have movie night, but they weren't doing them outside yet. Must be a summer thing.
Yeah. The miniature golf course was busy all
it sure
the time.
was, yeah. And it was all under the trees.
So now we're coming over onto the right side of that pond, and there's 2 rows on this side of the pond for the east section. Again, they're all pull-throughs and nice and wide, as big as what our coach is. You could turn down each road, make the turn.
Yeah.
Nothing was difficult.
It was nice.
And this side had a couple of extra perks too, because the field that's over here to the right was where you'd see the deer crossing mornings and evenings.
You had a front row seat.
This was our site here, and as you can see, the gravel part of the site is nice and wide, plenty of room for the rig. The hookups are all new with 50 and 30 amp service. And and they've got them positioned nice. They're all towards the rear of the site. And nice amount of green space, as well as a fire
Between
pit,
you, yeah.
picnic table.
And there's your front yard.
Mm-hmm. Well, Kathy, what did you think about Thousand Trails Colorado River?
I think this is a pretty great place to stay. It is beautiful.
It is, and you know, it's at Columbus, Texas. And Columbus, Texas is a neat little town. Lots to do there. We have a video on that also coming out that you won't want to miss. It just makes this a perfect situation. We're out here in the peace and quiet and beautiful country, and you're about 3 or 4 miles if you need a Walmart, if you need an H-E-B grocery, all the conveniences of any town, and a great little historic town too.
Yes, it is.
So if you enjoyed the video today, leave us a thumbs up. We sure appreciate it. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, be sure to subscribe, ring the notification bell. That way you'll know when all of our videos come out. And Thousand Trails is a great way to camp. Check out our description below for more information on how you too can become part of Thousand Trails and enjoy camping like this for 3 weeks for nothing out of your pocket.
That's right. And thank you for following us as we follow the movie.